The creepy classmate. I was a young teacher who just got a job at an exclusive all-girls Catholic school. I taught English and literature to a class of 50 girls every day. The first few weeks were a bit hard since I had to memorize every girl's face and name. But over time, and thanks to the seating chart, I was able to recognize them with ease. One day, I showed the class the 1930 film adaptation of The Wizard of Oz. While the rest of the girls were deeply invested in the film, one girl approached me and whispered into my ear, "There's something strange with that girl there." I found it odd that she would refer to her classmate as that girl, considering they were already acquainted with one another since the first day of school. I asked her which girl was it, and she pointed to a girl sitting at the very back of the classroom before heading back to her seat. She had long, unkempt brown hair, and her uniform hung quite loosely on her shoulders, with bits of the hem and seams secured loosely by pins and quick stitches. But what troubled me was not that I did not recognize this girl. Worse, this was the first time I was seeing this girl. The school often lets students enroll in the middle of the school, so it wouldn't surprise me if a student was suddenly added to my class. But I still found it odd that not one of the girls would tell me that a new classmate was added. Seeing as they were still watching the movie, I quietly moved toward the girl and introduced myself. "Hello, I'm the English teacher. Are you new to my class?" The girl shook her head and replied, "No." "Oh? So you were here since the start of the school year?" I asked, wondering why I didn't recognize or even notice her. The girl said nothing and just continued to stare at the TV. "Can I continue watching the movie, please?" she asked. I nodded and walked right back to my table and continued observing the class. I kept wondering if I somehow failed to notice her at all. There are 50 girls in the class, and even if I managed to memorize all of their names and faces, there were times when I would mix them up or completely confused them with the other. I continued to observe the strange girl when I suddenly felt a strange and heavy feeling come over me, like something was breathing down on my back. I couldn't explain what it was, but before I could think of what was causing it, I was approached by this strange girl. "Yes?" I asked. "Is there something you need?" "The movie was nice," the girl said, staring at me with pale, bloodless eyes. I felt a chill run down my spine as she walked back to her seat. I then reached for the seating chart to at least know her name. I ran my finger across the sheet to where the back seats were indicated. I looked at the seat where she sat and back at the chart. There was no name on the chart. No name at all. As the movie's credits rolled along the TV screen, I lifted my head and saw, to my surprise, the seat at the back was empty. The girl was gone. Did she walk out? The door wasn't open at all. I then asked the class where their classmate in the back was. They all looked at me, and one of them asked, "Which classmate?" "The girl sitting in the far right at the back," I said. "The new girl." "What new girl?" the class president asked. "We don't have a new classmate." I then asked the girl who approached me about the girl, and to my surprise, she replied, "What do you mean, miss? I never approached you about any girl." I was completely stunned. I was even more stunned when her classmates all agreed that she was sitting in her seat the whole time. I felt a chill run up my spine just thinking about it. So, who was the girl who told me about the strange girl? And where were they? I would eventually learn from the other teachers that they too experienced the same strange and baffling instance. When I asked them about it, they would tell me about the ghosts that haunted the school, some of who were former students who were self-destructive decades ago. One thing's for certain though, after that incident, I made it a point to conduct a roll call every time it was my class. I had to make sure that there wouldn't be any other students that would suddenly join us for the day.